28th, 2017. We'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I want to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. If we could look over tonight's agenda here and put a motion to approve it. But before that, there's two things I see that need amended on the agenda. The one 7:30 at the bottom, we would like to, it's going to be 7 p.m. I think we have to possibly vote on that or discuss it. It has, all right. So we need to do that. And then I want to add voting to Matt Wayne to accept his resignation for his time on the commission. Well, we would have to put on, we could do the new business? Okay. Yeah, that's where I got it there. Hey, Walt. And then, so somebody needs to put a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Oh, make a motion.
Ian, second.
Second it. I'm allowed.
Any discussion? I'll move. We're not voting on it, it's just that. All right. The meeting is approved. Meeting minutes from the June meeting. Did everybody get a chance to look over the June meeting minutes? No, the last meeting we had was June. I think that the August one wasn't held because the times got mixed up and we were having August and September's together, didn't we? Where's those minutes right there? It's June 22nd.
Right, we had a meeting down the bottom. Right.
And the June 22nd. And I'll find a.
All right, can we table that until October? The approval of the minutes. Public comment? Evan, anyone out there? Comment you want to make?
Just
Your name, yep.
Grosse Ile Soccer. Just give you guys a little bit of information as to what we're doing. Chad and Kim know as well. We replaced all the benches with new wood, stained them all. The bleachers are done tonight. The last one's fixed. All 5 sets are brand new wood. We'll stain them. The Boy Scouts came out and did some work for us, cleaned up some stones off the fields. And the highlight of the soccer this year right now is Grosse Ile. 16 girls got invited to participate in an Orlando soccer tournament.
Wow.
It's a special invite tournament. So a group of us are going down there. President's Day weekend, we're going to be doing a bunch of fundraisers to hopefully offset the cost, but it's a pretty big recognition for the girls, as well as obviously we're going down to represent Grosse Ile Soccer, Grosse Ile Island. So it's February 15th through the 17th. So trust me, you'll see a bunch of stuff out there for fundraising. So.
Kevin, is there a website that our residents can go to look at all the things that you are doing for the program? What would be the website?
Yeah, it's chaossoccer.net. And you'll go on there and see a bunch of stuff. You'll see all the teams, all the players, games. Actually, if you look across the field now, there's about 300 kids over there playing soccer tonight. So the season's full gear. And a lot of stuff we want to do. So once obviously the paperwork's all signed, sealed, and delivered, we got some other stuff we want to do too. So.
And thank you for all the work you guys do out there. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, it's looking really nice over there. Thanks.
Not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but are the fences still up over there?
The fences are in my car.
Oh, they're gone.
Yes. They're going to the donation to the Island Fest or township.
Donated those, Jim. He just donated those to us to use for our events down the road.
He knows I love him.
Old snow fencing.
But we'll put stuff out there so you can see it on the website.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Anybody else? Chairperson's report. I know Kim's going to do some updates on Paint the Town Red. I want to address the Farms contract, Alicia's going to take care of that. We just went through new user agreements. Is Kevin still here, or did he leave? Yeah. Are we going to, and the user agreements?
We're still negotiating the user agreements. I've spoke with soccer and football. We are making very minor changes to it. So those should be completed, hopefully signed, I would say, in the next week or so. But not big changes, just football had the concern about the contract from the airport commission in reference to vacating the premises immediately. And I spoke with Mike Duker. We do want to kind of work with that group instead of saying see you later immediately, give them some notice. Obviously, there's kids involved, coaches, our community with the football program. So we're going to fine tune that just with a couple of month notice for that. And then Kevin and I spoke about just some minor things that we're touching up. So those should be signed in the next week or so. So that's the update.
Well, that's going to lead us right to your report. I don't have much to say on this. I know there's going to be some questions when the commissioners have their time to speak out, so I'm going to take it down to the director's report now.
Thank you, Chad.
Ms. O'Farrell?
Just a couple of updates. At Water's Edge, obviously, summer's over, so the pools have been winterized. I had that taken care of the week of September 20th. Things have been cleaned up. You can see the pool is completely shut down. And then out at the marina, the current patrons are scheduling their pull-out dates. Obviously, in the fall, the winter contracts go out. We take care of the pull-outs and the shrink wrap and all of that, so that's being done right now. I worked with Hearst Marina. I'm receiving estimates for some pier work repair, and we do have some cracks appearing on the lift dock. So I'm working with Hearst Marina to try to get an idea of what those costs will be down the road. They will be hefty. So obviously when I get those estimates, I'm trying to compile the repair work that's needed within the next year or two. So our commission and myself, we all have those to be prepared for those in the next 2 years or so. And also the light pole at the marina has been repaired. I know that there was a couple of questions about the bulletin board that was out there, and that has been taken down, and I spoke to the Eagle Scouts that did put that up there. We're working together to find a new location for that billboard, because when the boats come in, plus we had that bad storm, the billboard kind of fell over. So we have that in our storage. So we're working with that group to find a better location. Out at the Playscape, cameras have been installed. Police are monitoring that. We have not had any vandalism, not that I have heard of, so that's a good thing. Thank you, Grosse Ile residents and kids. And then I spoke to Kiwanis. The plan for next spring is to remulch some of those low areas. I walk the premises. We're going to try to repair some of the broken equipment out there. And then those low areas, the mulch, definitely needs to go in. So I'm planning to do that next spring. Out at Centennial Farm, for those that have rented, the floor is installed. It looks beautiful. I added to the project. I did put new curtain rods up there. So, if you haven't gone out there, the floor looks beautiful. So if you're looking to rent for whether it's a bridal shower, a reunion, anything, it looks really nice now. So keep that in the back burner when you're planning your event. Our rentals are going strong, which is good. That's a nice revenue stream for the recreation department. Also out at the farm, the next senior luncheon is October 11th at 12:30. We invite all seniors of the island to participate in the senior luncheon. We average about 25 to 30 seniors. I'd like to get that number up to 50 to 70. Again, the farm is beautiful. We have it catered. We have live music. It's $10. Annette in my office does a fantastic job on that. So seniors, if you're listening, please come join us. I'll be out there serving food. Smokies will be the next caterer for the October 11th event. And just call the rec department for your ticket. Also out at the farm is our Fall Festival, October 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. This is for all families, kids, grandmas, grandpas. Come out to the farm. We had a great turnout last year. It's only $5. Crafts, petting zoo, children's gardens, hay rides, cider and donuts, pumpkin patch, face painting, kids games. It's a great afternoon. So put that on your calendar. The golf, the weather's been cooperating. Golf course, we still have golfers, which is great. We are offering our fall rates right now. That started September 5th. Regular golfer is $10 for 9 holes, $14 with the cart. And our senior and junior golfers, $8. And then I did offer a student special. I did announce this at the board meeting on Monday night. With your student ID, you can walk 9 holes for $5. I don't know where you can go and walk 9 holes for $5. That's a pretty good deal. And then also our Senior Sunday. That's something new I added this year. Walk 9 holes for $7. That's for all of our seniors on the island and guests. Bring your friends over, 65 and older. Our Pro Shop hours are from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Sunrise Park, there is an update, and did you want to update on that, or do you want me to?
I can do it now, or do you want me to?
We'll do it when.
Okay,
Yeah.
when we do our report. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
because I just have 4 more things.
Okay.
And then also a change. If you haven't received your channels, you should have received channels, which is the recreation brochure. There was an error in there. I did want to clarify our first annual Winterfest. It was, I believe, listed from 6 to 9. We have changed that from 4 to 7. We want to have daylight for our Winterfest and then an hour of, when it's dark outside. So, and then the Hooray for Halloween costume parade, and I think that's up on the screen there, is Saturday, October 28th at 10:15, and the lineup is at the high school. And then Trick or Treat is Saturday, October 28th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that is hosted by the Island Businesses, which will be held on Macomb Street. And that is all I have for my report.
I'll give a shout out to the new website, the social media for the rec department. It's isn't Cam running that for us?
Yes, yeah, and we do have a Facebook page, Grosse Ile Recreation, and also we are updating our website every week. Like us on Facebook. That's the most accurate, current, because we're changing that every day with pictures, events, what's going on in recreation. So. Yes, it's Grosse Ile Recreation on Facebook.
Go on there and like the page.
Chad?
Thank you, Kim. Yes, Jim.
Kim, can you give me an update on the electrical at the marina?
I'm sorry?
The electrical at the marina?
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah, I had that. There was some electrical issues as far as just updating the boxes, getting those GFIs updated. So I think it was around $2,000. I couldn't go too crazy. And that's also going to be in the marina proposal to update all the piers. So we're doing small electrical updates out at the marina just to try to get us up to par. So we haven't had any problems since the upgrade, which is good. Customers are happy. They're not blowing, the circuits. So, and we just had that done, I think it was last month. So, but there'll be another proposal to continue on with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question. Where are we at with golf rounds? The golf rounds? Where are we at with golf rounds?
Exact number?
Well, are we better, the same as last year? Do you know
I did not bring that number with me tonight. If you want to call me in the morning, I can give you the exact number. Yep.
Pool. Good turnout for the pool, too.
Yeah, I mean, the pool, obviously we had a few cool days and so forth. The one thing I noticed about the pool, and obviously I'm circulating at night, seeing, if we're active or not, about 5 o'clock and on, a little bit slower. Obviously, people are going to dinner, those types of things. So I will propose to the commission some hour changes at the swimming pool, probably for next season, shortening the time that we close. I'm going to look over the stats just to be completely accurate. The lifeguard staff, they do take stats of how many people are there at what hour during the day. So that's something I may bring to the commission, just an hour change, maybe closing a half an hour early. But we will also, if we are very busy at the pool next summer, have the ability to stay open late. I'm not going to have customers leave on a 90-degree night and I've got 50 people in the pool. So
we need to tap into that Thursday night, because I was down there almost every Thursday night when those concerts going on, the volleyball, basketball, Smokies. I mean, there's got to be a way that we can do evening swim,
Yep.
Stay open till dark, 10 p.m. or something. And
right, there'll be
maybe
a
on
lot
that
more
day.
events in the evening. Absolutely.
Because it's I've got overhead shots of that area down there that I can't wait to use for some things next year.
Yep.
On a Thursday night. Thanks, Ms. O'Farrell, Kim. What about old business? New business?
Well, the old business we had with
Means
what Jim brought up about with the looking at the dockage proposal to look in front of the golf course. Isn't that old business?
The dockage. You mean the replacing and what's being fixed?
Putting them something brand new in front, south of the marina.
I mean,
You mentioned that last meeting?
expanding the marina.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
oh yeah, that's
got to go through a lot of channels and a lot of hoops above our head. But I'd like to move that forward. We're going to have to get major approval from way up there. Called the what's it called?
DEQ.
township board.
Okay, DEQ. And probably the Army Corps of Engineers, and we need to start that process probably as soon as possible, and start jumping through whatever hoops we have to jump through to make that a possibility. But I do think that
Go ahead.
it's going to be some serious numbers, but we have 6 open slips, or we had 6 open slips this year. We had 3. So I would guess that adding additional slips sounds like a good idea to me. That'll give us some additional transient slips. It's going to come at a pretty serious price tag, but the marina has a chance to break even for sure and probably make money. And that's one of the areas that we need, I think, to work on to expand our revenue source. And so I'd be all for moving it forward.
I have comment about that. I walked that twice in the past season with Doc Master and you and a couple of people, and had met down there. And it is one of the few things that we have that does bring some money in for the rec area is the marina, and that's about it. And they just tell them it's that thing that they pull the boats out, every season. It's going to cost at least about $30,000 to start work to get that, and that is the first priority, is the safety, getting those boats in and out. And then obviously it's to go out on those piers and update everything from the pier going out there to the posts in the water, and it's going to be priority. But yeah, we're looking into all that. So the plan to the south of there that we want to develop and put slips and all that, that's going to be way off, because we got to get those boaters happy. We got to make sure those tenants down there are happy, and a few of them are not happy right now, and you just have to go down there and focus on. So the first thing, I don't even know what it's called. It's where the boats come in, they lift them out for the season, they
Travel
dry
lift.
dock them.
Travel lift, yeah.
Yeah, and that is just the part right there has got to be replaced, and that's going to be really, really expensive. We've talked with Hearst a couple times, and obviously there'll be bids or whatever we have to go through for that. But
Definitely recommend expanding it too.
so we need to do the upkeep and maintain what we have, and then we can work about developing, getting Army Corps involved and all that with the
You mean the
fantasy
straps,
plan.
Chad?
Straps should be fairly new.
No, the straps are fine, but
It's the actual
that's what I
part
was
down in the cement that goes down in.
pricing
Okay.
for.
We just don't want everybody freaking out and saying, "Oh my gosh, it's not safe," because it's fine right now, but it's gonna.
This is that 2-year, when I was talking about working with Hearst and getting those, that's probably about 2 years out, but I want to get ahead of the game with those numbers so we know what we're looking at.
If we try to make it wider.
Yeah, and that's
Yes.
the other discussion as well, to take on bigger boats,
We want
bring
to
in.
bring bigger boats. Yep.
Yes.
Bigger boats.
We did talk to Greg, too, about is there room for storage if we expand the south end by, I'll just say 20 slips. In the wintertime, those boats have to be put someplace. So we need to make sure there's enough square footage out there to store all those boats in the wintertime.
Well, in the past, the DQ would only allow transient dockage. You can't have permanent dockage. No electrical, no water going south. All you could do is just have docks for transient, and that's it. Unless things have changed and we try something
We
new.
just want to find out what the rules are.
What we can do. And Walt and I did have a discussion about that. I remember you and I had talked about that. And that was was that about 5 years ago, I
Oh,
think?
God, probably. We had to permit for many years, but then we just let it lapse. I don't know, for whatever reason,
Right.
why. But, and then, once it's gone like that, you're going to have to do the whole study. Any fisherman can come by, and
Right.
if there's endangered species, frog, spider, fish, whatever, they can kill the whole deal.
Right. So we're just starting these are the early stages. Obviously, I see room for growth. I want to investigate it. I know it was looked at 5 or 6 years ago. I just kind of want to see what we can do if something has changed, which I don't know the answer to that yet. So that's what we're looking to.
Yeah, but it's a great opportunity. But they would only allow back then just the docks, like no land, no fill, or nothing like that.
Oh, I'm sure there's no fill still. That won't surprise me.
Jim, you also were concerned about investigating the kayak launch at the south end. Anything happen on that?
Well, Kathy Walker is ecstatic that it is, and thanks to Kim, that it is up and running. It has new carpet. And
No, the south one, Jim. She's the south. The other
South one, the
hand-
handicap one.
Oh, the handicap one.
Yeah.
No, I have not pursued that, but I will.
You'd be off it.
And the handicap launch has been pulled out for the season for
Right.
those that have used it. But also the other launch is going to be open. I plan to pull the carpet the week of October 15th. So, and that has to be scheduled with the marina company. That's something that REC does not do. We have to have that hoisted out of there. So I did have that scheduled last week. So just
That green
for.
carpeting cost us money to have pulled out of that too?
Pardon me?
Does that green carpeting cost us money to have that pulled out of that then too?
No, my department will be pulling the carpet out. The carpet? No, I'll do that. I'll be doing that.
Cost to replace it.
Yeah. Okay, well, then there's our marina update that's further down there.
All right, the other thing, though, Jim was talking about maybe investigating about doing something with golf, maybe outsourcing it and something like that. We have the whole season now. Just wondering where you were found out about that.
Well, we haven't done anything yet because I wanted to wait. I think Kim wants to wait till the season is over and the dollars aren't coming in, so we find out where we are at the end of the season compared to where we were last year. At the end of the season, I hope that we have hard numbers from last year. I know we have hard numbers for this year. Golf courses, for the most part, don't make money, believe it or not. A lot of them have closed. I'm not advocating that, but I think I said at the last meeting that we need to take a long look at what we can do to make it better. The Wyandotte Shores is over there. They're subsidized by Wyandotte to a significant amount of money to keep that going. It's a nice amenity. I think what I would like to do is I would like to have the township subsidize it to a certain point so we can continue to make it better, continue to have what we have. Are we ever going to break even? Probably not, hopefully, but at least we can't make it on our own right now. And we can't make any improvements really on our own right now because we don't have $200,000 and some to put an irrigation system in. And that
Is that
one,
the final number you guys got?
is that?
No.
Okay.
We have not received the final number on the irrigation. So there's a lot of number. And again, Jim is correct that the season's not over. I don't do a final analysis until the doors close. And I will get you those numbers, how many rounds and so forth. We are short in revenue, I can tell you that. I don't want to put an exact number right now until everything comes in. So, and once those numbers come in, that's when you sit down. Because to try to do something right now, we've got golfers. We still have people golfing, still using the range. The carts are still out there. And we're going to stay open as long as the weather works with us. So, that's not, it could be through October. My other course stayed open, through November last year. So you just got to keep going until it starts to snow. So, but once those numbers come in, that's when we sit down and we compare the last 5 years. Then you try to make a decision on which way are we going. Is there other things that we can do differently? I have a few different ideas in my head, but I'll sit down with the board, the commission, and also my staff and figure out which direction we're going to go for next season.
What about the irrigation numbers, though? Jim mentioned $200,000. Do you expect to get numbers in soon or something for that?
Yes. And there's a full evaluation going on right now. The company that we're working with, the guy that was coming out had some health issues and some family issues, so it did kind of come to a halt. So there was a family emergency, so he is supposed to come out and finish that up. So I'm just waiting for them to give me the number.
I want to comment on this. Greg, come on up here because we're going to give you a shout out in a minute. So please come up here, Mr. Trustee Person, and sit up here. That's all right. This is kind of controversial, this golf course. I've been hearing stuff left and right. You know, are you going to sell it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do this? So I'm just going to put it out there. I have two views on this, and both of them are the opposite. One, if it never makes money, it's something you do for your community, just like a swimming pool. And I've talked to many people like that because it's what makes our island a place to want to be. All right, a lot of things we do around here. The other thing is, I'm not opposed to some cool corporate place that's going to come in and do some awesome things there. You know, sell your soul and have somebody and have somebody come in and take it from us and go ahead and run it and do some neat things as long as we're still involved with part of it, right? So it could go either way. You either let somebody come in that's going to take the financial responsibilities off us but still be a percentage of that group, or you just keep doing it because that's the right thing to do for your community too. I mean, my gosh, those taxes some of us pay are like, could buy that course over multiple
You probably
times.
pay more than most of us.
But so hopefully I won't get scolded in Kroger's because I gave both different views on that. And so, but yeah, golf course, marina.
Chad, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Called me up here. My position, I'm sure most of the people on the board know, as long as the golf course is not losing money, I think it's a plus for the community.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
I know Tim Rooney and I used to go back, and he would always be like, we didn't meet the budget for the golf course. And it's like, okay, but did we lose money? And he'd always say no, but we didn't meet the budget. I don't care if we met the budget, because the budget's always trying to show money, that we made money. As long as we didn't lose money, like Chad's saying, it's a plus, it's an attraction to the community.
The amenities.
Wyandotte Shores, I believe, and I can confirm this, I just texted my buddy Justin Lanigan, who runs the rec department over there. I believe Wyandotte Shores has a company that pays Wyandotte to manage and run the course. So whether it makes money or loses money, it doesn't matter to Wyandotte because they're getting money from that company. So it's in the company's best interest to make money. All right, now, but I want to confirm that. Hopefully he'll text me back. Justin will text me back before this meeting's over. But that's my position on the golf course, and I think we're all pretty much on the same board with that, or on the same page.
Yeah, as long as we look at the golf course as part of rec, right? So rec as a whole, if we're doing all right, it should be okay. You're right.
Exactly.
Right, absolutely.
Well, we are getting a $73,000 subsidy from the township. 73 the right number? For all of rec?
For what?
For what?
No, that's just for a loan that the township made.
At a 2%, right?
Yeah, it's the loan that we got
Right.
saddled with.
That was something they loaned us.
I mean, from the restaurant, from the building?
The building and then the lifts, right? We got rid of the one. We still got the building one now.
But Ann tells me that they're subsidizing recreation. Just for that?
That's for the loan, right? Correct.
Okay, and my second thing is Kim will bring us the numbers, obviously, as soon as the seasons are done. And it'd be interesting to see what happened this year, what happened last year. Kim has made significant changes in how things are done over there, how much overtime is paid out. She's done a wonderful job at looking at the whole picture at the golf course. And that's a major, major part of it, and I want to thank her for that. And it'll come to us when
Once it's all in.
Yeah, once it's all ready to go.
Good.
Thanks for your support.
All right. I may have missed it. Where are we at with the Luton's contract?
We're going to get to that.
Okay. I thought that was old business.
So is that where I would address that, or would I wait till we get down to the subcommittee updates?
Well, unless Helena's going to give the report.
All right.
You need an update on that? I can
Well, I know
speak.
what the update is, but go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone is, obviously, I hope the commission has a copy of the lease and has read it. Mr. Luton will be with us for 5 more years. The lease has been renewed for 5 years at the same dollar amount. So that is where the lease stands.
Do you want to talk about the condition of the farms now, since you brought up the lease? It's
there's a contract to keep it up.
I know, but I'm confused about the building that needs the windows replaced, that the hay goes in, that the horses eat out of. Is that part of Rob's deal? It's not, right? That's us.
That's operations, and I have gone through the entire property. I'm aware of all of those things. Everything is scheduled. So as far as the maintenance, those particular 2 windows, Rec is repairing those. So we've bought the plexiglass. Those 2 windows are going to be covered by Gene Kowalski, who works out there, in the next couple of days. So that he has a list of things that he has to go through. I actually went through the farm with Rob today. We got on a golf cart. We drove all the way around. There's a lot of work. The main work out there is the fence. For those that go out there, the fence is falling apart. So the plan for that, again, that's a fall project for Rec and a spring project. Even in winter, we can do that. For those of you that want to understand about what we do in the summer, we have a very, very small staff. I have 2 maintenance men that work for me, and we operate a marina, a farm, a swimming pool, and a golf course. Okay, so when you have 2 men, and I'm vouching for my guys, I am, it's a lot of running. So we conquer those projects, and they know that they're there. I know some people expect it to be done immediately, but that's, I'm the one that knows what's going down with all those projects. So, and like I said, I'm trying to come up with a plan for the fence. It's overwhelming. I know you've been out there. I mean, it might be a community cleanup day, or, I'm working on some things, because that project is
grants.
Big money. If anyone in the township can find a grant for a fence or anything at the farm, updating the lighting, those types of things, I am not afraid to reach out to the community and my commission for help on those projects. So those are the things that when fall comes, we're kind of done running. At least I'm not running around the pool and all over the place. I can sit down and take some time to investigate some grant opportunities. So
how did the outdoor riding rink arena look, or the pens? Everything look pretty good, or
as far as the pens, it's okay. The grass is contracted out. The grass looks fine. We're evaluating trees. There's a lot of dead trees out there. It is the fence. The main problem is the fence.
Weeds were good.
It needs a little more fine tuning. Okay. It's not, and again, it's a lot of land.
Well, Rob's responsible for all the weeds inside of the outdoor.
Right, and he's getting all that. Where his area, he's doing great.
Okay.
He and I talk a lot. I don't know what the relationship was before me, but my goal is to have good working relationships with the people. Even with Smokies, they're leasing property. I want to work with them, not against them, because that doesn't solve the problem. So like I said, I go to the grounds, I walk with him, he tells me his concerns, I take it to my team, and we try to fix the problem.
I had talked about this fencing, and I brought this up to this commission months ago, too, and just things around the areas, the windows I had brought up, and that was in the late winter, probably, and I was out there talking with one of the gals, and she said about the fencing, and I said, well, 3 phases, which it will probably take at least 3 phases to do, if we can work on a nice grant to help us with that fencing out there. They're not going to be able to come. What's the priority? Where's it dangerous, I never knew horses ate the top of the wood. You go out there, and there's big chunks out of it, and you replace it. They don't, if you get the right wood, well, I never knew that. There we go. Dr. Woodward just told us that. What kind of wood is it?
That's pine.
Hardwood.
Or plastic. No, it's not.
Oaks.
If you paint it with
And cement the posts. That was the biggest problem. None of the posts are cemented.
They're always maintenance. That's
horrible.
Right.
They're always maintenance. It doesn't matter whether you cement or what.
I'm not making light of the situation, but we did some repairs, and I went down there, and the wood was put inside the fence this way when it should have been outside, and it spooked the horses when we went to do repairs. I'm like, oh my gosh. The wood was inside the thing going this way opposed to being outside. I thought it was kind of funny, but...
So we are working on that, yes.
It's hard to figure out. There is no...
We're not for 10 years, so...
No,
right.
the least maintenance fence costs the most.
Right. Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah.
You know, the plastic is the best because it lasts the longest, doesn't need paint.
And shocking
But it
is not
costs an arm and a
cool
leg.
anymore, right? Those electric wires.
Oh, yeah.
We used to
It
have
works.
that.
It hurts so.
It works good.
The public.
It works really good. We had it when it wasn't owned by the township.
Although I was electrocuted by one of those before, standing in a puddle with the down wire, and I got shocked to my braces. So that does travel through the ground. If you're in the winter time, that can go like a mile.
You got a free perm, no?
A beautiful tea.
That travels through puddles, so I mean safety, that's an
Puddles and
issue.
electrical wires and fencing. I've learned a lot with that. Wow. All right.
Electric fencing. Nobody's died.
Right, yeah.
Nobody's lost their teeth or curled.
I mean, yeah, it can't kill you.
Yes, sir.
The whole thing.
The whole thing, but wow, you got an idea?
Posts are a problem too.
Yeah, they're not
Posts are
cement.
falling.
I didn't
At
see
the
that.
ground. And then the horses eat the,
Kevin, come up here again, please.
oh, good.
And
I don't know what you're expecting to pay or what you think you're going to pay, but at least he can go out there and give us an idea, because that's what he does for a living. So.
some parts are a bigger priority than others, right? Obviously, and I know when you come in, it's not about the visual down there; it's about the safety and then the horses and what they're doing with lessons or riding and
Sure.
et cetera. So,
Okay, I'll have him go look at it. I didn't know if it was the whole thing coming out or not.
I think
so.
right now they're just talking about the parts that contain the animals, not the perimeter of the farm.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, the perimeter originally was all the way around the entire 34 acres or something. It's 4.
But when I pull in and I'm looking across from where the parking lot is, that area.
That contains the horses.
That area is what you're
But the
talking about.
perimeter of the entire farm doesn't need replacement.
Just the horse pen.
Outside perimeter, yeah, because
It's
Tim,
okay.
Tim was actually thinking about taking that down and using that as replacement boards.
He did do it, yeah.
well,
And then they put it back up.
he-
Kevin, have him call me.
But those aren't unsightly.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, just what contains the horses.
I'm not sure how much it would cost, but
We'll have a couple people.
Right.
Maybe meet them out there. Maybe more than one person meet them out there, so we have different ideas going around.
okay.
The ones that contain the horses. Yeah, cool.
I'll ask him.
Yeah. Okay, any more comments on that? I think we should move on to the new business, which is voting Matt Wayne. Do we vote on that? He did his resignation, so do we need to submit that to the township so they can thank him for his...
We don't have to vote on it, but I mean, you just announce it and then Kim takes it to the board.
Okay,
I mean, you want to vote to accept it, we can.
well, we don't need to, we just need to recommend. I mean, isn't that what it is? We recommend things and then it goes to the
Sure.
big guys and Uta?
Big guys.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt Wayne, and congratulations on your new baby. We hope that you continue to bring more to our beautiful island so we can get them in those schools and recreation. All right, subcommittees. Mr. Nelson, Township Board Liaison.
I have two things. First one, we just talked about losing a commissioner. Before we think about appointing new people, can we talk about for a few minutes what size you think, how many members should be on the rec commission? Most of them, other commissions, I've been told are 7. Was ours 9? I don't know what it was, because I count in there, I'm told, as one of the commissioners. So that being the case, we need, if it's 7, then I'm going to have to count in there, so we need 6 people to have a full commission. If it's 7. First of all, we got to determine how many do you want?
Well, when does the township liaison to these commissions become one of the commissioners? Is that what you said? Is that what you said?
And I'm voting too.
Well, that happened when there was a separate commission for the Water's Edge. And then the year shortly, I'm trying to think, it's about 10 years at least ago, they gave, by they I mean the board, dissolved that commission and created a bigger community rec commission because they transferred that to us.
Right.
So then that's when Walt and I came on.
Okay.
I mean, I was already on this commission. He was on that commission.
Okay.
So that's why we're 10. But from the get-go, it was the plan that it would go down to normal sometime.
Okay.
At least that was my understanding.
And at that point in time, the liaison wasn't a voting member?
Pardon?
At that time, the liaison wasn't a voting member?
Liaison's always a voting member.
Pardon?
A liaison's always a voting member.
Okay, so I'm a voting member right now.
Say something real quick. Isn't this all defined and laid out in the township charter?
Yep.
I mean,
Right there, right.
Yeah.
Why don't we just read the charter and then we'll know exactly what
Okay,
it is?
good idea.
Covered this because Leah said the two different boards. What was the board? What was your board? She was the rec, and then what was the other one?
Water's Edge.
Water's Edge.
Water's
They
Edge.
combined them just so you people out there
And
understand.
then the board
They
said when they
combined
did
those.
that, they would make it to a normal commission level like other commissions.
Oh, I have this.
But they never changed the charter. They had to make the new charter for the new commission, new joint commission, and then they were going to wait a couple of years until someone's time ran out, and they were going to change the charter, but it never happened.
So the only way to change the number of people on the commission is to change the charter.
It's got to go to the
Correct.
township board
Correct.
first, yep.
Right.
And the township board has to do that. There's nothing we can do about that.
Correct.
We can,
Correct.
recommend
Okay.
it to the board, right? Because
Yeah.
somebody's got to get their.
Yep. If something wants to be done, it's got to come from the township board.
Well, I think that we should go to 7. That's what the other commissions are, and then we have a liaison, and we have the rec director. Because right now we're sitting at 9, and it has to be an odd number, right? So that's my ideal, and I think because that way, if we have less people show up, we still have a quorum, right? And with the quorum, we can vote.
Okay. Do you want to do that now? Do you want to make a motion now? I would move that the community rec recommend to the board that they change the charter to make community rec 7 commissioners.
Second.
Any discussion about this right now? Everybody comfortable with it before we vote? All in favor?
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Greg.
I'm
No,
sorry.
go. No, go.
I would like us to, maybe talk about this a little bit more. Maybe not so much up here, but maybe think about it more. I don't think we should rush into something like this. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not one way or the other, but at the same time, this is a major development for the commission. So whether it's we stay at the same or we go less, I think, it ought to be something on the agenda maybe too. Just, I didn't know it was going to be voted on. I think it's something that we should be talking about, but we should talk about it in more detail.
Right, and I think Jim was just trying to get a feel from the commission as, we are all sitting together. That's the discussion the board has been talking about. It's been asked to me, what is my view? So it is up for discussion, Jim, am I correct? You were trying to get a feel from the commission.
Sure.
I would be amenable to tabling it until the next meeting.
Absolutely, and we'll make that, that'll give us 30 days to chit-chat about it. I'll put it on the next agenda. How does that sound? Yes?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my second thing is, I don't know if I've even talked to Kim about this yet specifically, but we are going to have a fundraiser at West Shore Golf and Country Club tentatively in June to begin to pay back the rink. And we don't call it the hockey rink, we call it the rink because it's used for many things, including pickleball now. So Carl Moore is going to be involved in that, of course. Anybody else who wants to be involved, that's great. So we're going to do the best we can to raise as much money as we can, as quick as we can, so that we can get that paid back to the township that I think we borrowed money to build the
What's your
first
still owed
place,
on that?
did we?
I want to say it was
43,000, something like
Yeah.
that.
40,000.
Yeah.
40.
So Kim has hockey connections, major hockey connections. Chad has major hockey connections with one of the people that lives in his house. So Chad's going to bring us all the Red Wings out, or at least half of them. That's true, Chad?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, man.
No, that's okay. I'm kind of teasing. Yes, I'm teasing. But we need to put everybody that we can in the mix so we can get rid of it as quick as we can get rid of it. Because every once in a while, about every other meeting, it comes up with the township board meeting. Have you raised any money yet to pay for the rink? And I have to say, it's in progress.
Well, if I may, I think that I had mentioned this to Kim before, that I think going forward we're going to plan events and fundraisers. I mean, you can only do so many chili cook-offs and steak roast dinners, no offense to anybody, but, you know, you got to think bigger. You got to get the people in here, and when we do something for the marina, we could do that. What you said, the ice rink, I don't know why we couldn't take part of this winter thing coming up, and we'll discuss that down the road. So, but yeah, bigger pictures. So, okay, Mr. Nelson, is it?
I'm done, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your report. Leah Shelkey for the Open Space and Greenways Committee update.
Just give me a sec here. I guess the most important one would be for the community that Dump the Junk is scheduled for October 14 and 15 from 9 a.m. to 5. They critically need volunteers or the event will be canceled. They're looking for up to 16 people to assist. There are 2 shifts available every day. Anybody in the community is invited to help, and that includes the community rec. So we can't do much of the heavy lifting because of the new weight limits on the bridge and getting the trucks across. So Waste Management, they're working with them and getting some recommendations going on that. They're continuing to work with the trails and keeping them up to date. That includes our playscape area. They work with the bicycle sidewalk plan with them to get that done. And they're looking to work with the schools to promote National Walk to School Day.
Is there a date for that? The Walk to School?
Nope, don't see a date for it. And they're still working on that new access to Ferry Trail. There's a new owner involved there, and so they're working on that. They're putting some signs up to alert trespassers about it being private property. They're also looking at the Centennial Farm area that around there needs some chips in the low areas. Let's see. Oh, and then I had forgotten this, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it. They send welcoming letters to new residents with information and so forth about the island. They have a great brochure, if you see them in Kroger's, that gets included in that packet. So I wanted to mention that again. And they need a liaison for the Bike Path Committee. So if there's somebody who's interested in helping out in that way. So, pardon?
Who's it currently?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one there. It's usually Conservancy and that group and myself that's
Not
there.
Tom Melvesto. He's just...
That's maybe for the board, but I'm not that liaison. Liaison between commissions. Or among commissions. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have made that clear.
It's okay.
I don't know. Anybody have any questions about it?
Why don't you represent us for the what you just said, a liaison for that?
Leah's got 20 things to do.
I know. I'm just saying. She comes and gives the report. She should. That would.
I'm liaison to the commission from us.
Oh well. So what was the? I thought it was they were looking for someone from
Bike
REC.
Path.
Oh, BPAC.
Yeah, for the bike path.
And so they want someone from REC to go to the BPAC meetings?
They want somebody from the community.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. That'll teach me not to write my own report instead of just going through.
Well, I'm thinking of this whole...
This report here, folks, I usually have my own written out, but I had to go to the music at the dinner tonight, so.
The Bellevue Trail, or the Ferry Road that she's talking about, the trail, I know a little bit about that, and there was something going about that.
Yeah,
All right,
there are some new owners involved in
A little bit.
I think down the road, maybe before next spring, we can look into doing something along Bellevue. We need something to get our people from and our kids from Meridian to West River safely down Bellevue. I mean, we have country clubs and golf courses and swimming pools at both ends of that street, but yet... So, correct me if I'm wrong, are we trying to fight to get a bike path on Ferry Road? Is that what I'm misunderstanding now?
No, I think they're just
trail?
there are people that use Ferry Road Trail.
Right.
And then somebody bought a piece of property. So
Right.
Those people didn't know they couldn't, the people that I hear from, they didn't know they couldn't go on. They didn't know this guy had private property there. Does that make sense? That's all that is.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Not making a new path. It's a way to get through.
I mean, are there grants for bike paths? Is it that costly to go down and mark off a lane and widen it a little bit? Is it a Wayne County issue?
The right away.
Road issue because
But there's no houses on Bellevue between Meridian and West River. There's no homes there. It's all
county road.
right.
We need someone to talk to Wayne County Commission.
I brought that idea when I first started. Obviously, I see the kids coming up and down Bellevue. I did talk to board trustee about Malvesto about that. So, from what I was told, it's a Wayne County road. We have the right of ways. It's very difficult to put a bike lane there. There's not too much to go on the left or the right.
We did Horse Mill. I mean, yeah, you're right. It was wider, but
that road is definitely a challenge. So I did bring it to BPAC, and I just kind of gave him the idea. I think that was in the first month I was here. So, yeah.
Parkway.
Oh, that's
New
true.
Parkway. Because you got less people and neighbors and stuff like that. You got the golf course on the south side of Parkway to make that.
Well, that's a shame that we can't put one down the road like that.
I want to add one thing.
Okay.
I just need to add one thing about the dump the junk. We cannot have any hazardous waste or electronics dumped at that. You have to look for what's going on in Wayne County. Often Wayne County Community College will have one or something, but please don't bring any of that, old batteries, that kind of thing, because we can't handle that.
We need to get a list put up there what we can and can't take, because I get confused about what Woody Clark's going to let me bring through those gates when I go down there. I know. On the fly, he does. Absolutely. It's like, love you, Woody. Okay. Kim, anything else about the pool and the golf course restaurant marina that we didn't touch on?
I would say, to touch a little bit on the restaurant, great concert turnout. Even that last one, it was a beautiful night. I wasn't there, but I got a few texts from people were on the inside and said it was just really, really good turnout. So, and again, we want to support our restaurant. Good food, good service. I work very closely with them, coming up with the next lineup for next summer, some different events that we're going to work together on. So, eat at Smokies if you're hungry. There you go. I don't know.
Are they happy, Kim? How are they doing?
They're doing well. Yeah.
Cooling, how did that go? Our air conditioning?
I've had a few calls. Yeah, it's still going on, but I did have a company come out. It was about a month ago, I think, when it was hotter than heck, and it went down. I called a company out. They went in, they fixed it, and we haven't had a problem since. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to work on some preventative maintenance for both of our buildings and the farm. And hopefully just move forward with those issues. So, yeah.
Concerts for next year for those Thursday nights, we need to reach out for sponsorships for those like we have in the past. The past couple, when Brandy was here, she just went and booked those. I booked the majority of them this past season. But if you remember, down on the fence on the marina, there used to be big banners with so-and-so's name here and so-and-so's business there, and they paid for those concerts. Those were thousands of dollars to throw those each year. And
Hit the banks. The banks allow community grant monies that they're allowed to give annually. And
I remember seeing certain politicians' names hanging down there and stuff like that. And I thought, so Kim is aware of that now. She's like, well, we need sponsors. And we're like, well, back in the day, 3 years ago, there used to be people that sponsored those. Can you put that fall festival thing back up there too?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, so just a shout out to the community. If you are interested in sponsoring any rec event, any of the concerts for next year, please call us. I'm working on a sponsorship for the rink as well. So, I'm looking to have some flags put up around the rink just to get the rink up and going again. So I've talked to a lot of members in the community that really want to kind of help the rec out. We're the one in need right now. I know over the last, I think I said at the last board meeting or this meeting that, we need our community to help us. Everybody knows that rec is struggling, and we are. I'm not afraid to admit that, but we can't do it, all alone. Not just all of you and myself and the board. We need our community to help us out as well. So if you're interested in sponsoring, call Chad or myself. and we'd be more than happy to talk to you. So,
Okay.
Chad, bring us up to speed on rec pays for how many concerts? Because rec doesn't
Paid for 5 out of the
rec doesn't
9
pay,
that we had this year.
Rec doesn't pay for all of them.
No, Smokey's paid for
Smokey's
4 or
pays-
5.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't start bringing them later and later in the season because it gets darker earlier and earlier. And there's a big old hill there that if you don't have that roped off, somebody's going to be in their lawn chair, and there goes Mama down the hill. And talk about Marina, but it's not funny. But yeah, so, and when I booked those, I went through a booking agent this year, which was kind of good because I told him exactly what I needed or wanted or what, we were trying to make a balance of the bands for Water's Edge. And they did really, and I thought the guy did really good. Some were more popular than others. So is this my turn for programs and cultural events? Because I have a little thing called Paint the Town Red that we just did over this past weekend, and I know. Somebody pulled up Sunday in that bank parking on their bicycle, and you two know who you are, husband and wife, and they said, "Oh, was there an event this weekend?" I wanted to reach over there and grab her by her ponytail, and see. But it was a great event, and I want to say before I say thank you to the people that really took this and ran with it, this was discussed 3 years ago. It was a concept. When we did the 2014 Centennial Celebration on Macomb Street, Paint the Town Red came up. And real quick story, I had talked to Supervisor Loftus about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, really good, Chad. Let's run with it and do all that." And so at the time, our liaison was Lauren Smith, and Lauren's great. And she said, "Well, did Supervisor give you a budget?" And I said, "No budget." And she said, "Yeah, just like a politician, ask you to do something, not give you any money, So I thought it was funny when she said that, and I hope that no one's going to get worked up, but it was a cute story. And that being said, Paint the Town Red, Angela Secokis, DDA Director, you are great. We have a lot to do together, and I'm excited about doing it with you down there on Macomb Street. Kim O'Farrell, you brought it with helping not just the 3 days of the event, but there's so much that leads up to these things for the community. And then John Bergen, I know you're watching out there, buddy. You should be so proud of yourself with what you did on Sunday with Rotary and that Tour de Eel and the bike, the scooter parades and everything. All 3 days it was a great thing for Macomb Street, and I don't want anybody or business owners coming and saying, "Oh, Azalea Festival this and Azalea Festival that," because this is an event. This event, Paint the Town Red's been in the process for 3 years. Let's hope the next one is not going to take 3 years. I know it won't, because the 4 people I just mentioned and all the people that helped pull this together with them, and we all have those little favors and things and the small groups that stand up to make this the event what it was. If you weren't at Paint the Town Red, well, there will be another one, I'm sure, and it will be in the planning. So that's all I'm going to say about Paint the Town Red and myself and the 3 people that kind of brought that. I had an idea 3 years ago, and it became a reality this past weekend. So thank you, everybody, for Paint the Town Red. Kim mentioned the Fall Festival. We do have our Winter Festival coming up, which is the first one, Grows Eel. It's at the end of February. As we get near and near, we'll talk more about it. All these events, some of them, well, I don't know how to word this. Some of them do have ticket prices. Others do not. I'm going to be planning a huge event. Well, I don't know how huge, but we're going to be doing something in that marina, Mr. Nelson, at the South End next summer. And it's not going to be just a golf outing. It's going to be a whole event down there, right along the South End, where once all the boats are taken and put back in the water splash for the season. I want to give a shout out to Phantom Forest kicks off this weekend at Westcroft. We always like to give our neighbors and our friends shout outs, and Westcroft Gardens is hosting their annual hayride. It's okay for little kids. It's, there's some things that jump out at you back in the woods, but the bonfire and all that. So Erica, there's that shout out I promised to you. And don't forget to visit all our great businesses on Macomb Street and check out the new social media platform we have for the Grosse Ile Recreation Department. All the events coming up that we have. Thank you. Dr. Woodward, Centennial Farms.
I think, didn't we hash it out? It's slow. Just be patient. It's because it's going to be huge. The fencing. Trying to find the best fit for the best price.
Well, I learned stuff about that fencing tonight. You can't paint it with hot sauce or something.
And horses don't eat weeds. I got news for you.
I know, I
Horses
asked her on the
don't
side. I
eat
said,
weeds,
"Don't horses
right?
eat
Cover it in
weeds?"
soap,
Do you know
rub a
that?
bar of soap on it or something.
Oh.
Get real wood.
Put soap on.
Everybody's out there with their little bars. Then you got to do it after every rain. You're out there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mr. Mayor.
Doesn't work. I've done it. Doesn't work.
Greg, before I ask you about your report for the airport recreation, Paint the Town Red, they did a pie in the face, and we asked some people, we asked a lot of people to be involved, and we didn't have a lot. Kim stood up and did it, but Greg down here shot out social media things a couple days up to it, and he showed up, and that gray beard of yours, dude, and I love that Stephanie was there egging it on.
I still got, no, that's shaving cream or whipped cream or whatever.
Whipped cream. It was Ready Whip with vanilla wafers in the bottom of the pie tin, and he got up there like a pro, and oh my God.
Luckily, those kids didn't have
Was
very
this
good
on Paint
arms.
the Town Red?
Yeah, it was a Saturday afternoon.
No, it was a great time. Loved it. We'll do it again.
They cut out these 3 things. It was like a cheerleader and a jock and stuff like that.
That was nice. That was really
Yeah, it
nice.
was
That
cute.
whole Paint the Town Red was nice.
And he got up there, and so other than that, what any news on when we can buy all this property over here from Mike Duker and them from the airport?
No.
No. No go on that.
Not that I'm aware of, unless there's something going on behind the scenes.
Well, doesn't that kind of have to do with our fantasy 5-year program that we want to develop the fields over there? And Kevin kind of ran out of here. I know we had met with the baseball guys. Baseball, football, soccer.
Well, I mean, Walt has been around forever, so he knows the history, but I know there's things with the airport commission that kind of limits what we can do with that property or how we manage the property. So I think Kim will get up to speed real quick on what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. And obviously, if there's something within that framework, then yeah, let's do something for rec. But right now, I think we're kind of restricted on what we're allowed to do over there.
Right. And again, that's the user agreements, and everybody I forwarded everyone the user agreements. We've talked about the layout with the 2 ball diamonds. We've expressed what we like. I'm working with township manager to meet with the groups again, because this, again, this is a dream. Everything looks great on a piece of paper. Sunrise Park, I mean, all the drawings that we look at in the master plan. But we have to remember, things cost money. They do. And if anyone can find a full grant, that's the challenge. It's the dollar amount. We all know that. So, again, these aren't, we're going to build 2 ball diamonds and go about our day. This is several meetings. Who's funding that? Some of I think the one ball diamond is on airport property. I don't have any of those notes in front of me. I didn't, if we were going to talk about that tonight, but those are those dream things, and it's good to have those plans now as I work with Dale. Where are we going to be for the future? But, for all of us that I know it's been talked about, Walt, you and I had a conversation about that when I first started with the ball diamonds. That's why I brought it back up. But I think the commission was talking about it back in February or January is the first time the commission actually got to see those plans, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound about right?
We had one years in the past.
Yeah, right. So, the goal of that is to keep that process going through meetings, through discussions, what works, what doesn't work. And that's what I'm doing right now. I've been here 4 months. I have all these things that I got to go through. I wish I could move faster, but things do take time because you got to find the money to do it.
Right. Well, I want to put this out there, and this shouldn't cost us much of anything financially. I watched a board meeting the other night, Monday, and I saw Mike Duker, the airport manager, up there, and he's talking about, the new landscaping they want to do, and I agree that they should do that because there's a lot going on. It's pretty busy out there at work again, and it should look good out there. But that being said, if they're going to do stuff over on this side of the street, can't we just take a little piece over there by that sled hill and
you should do it while the iron's hot. The airport commission is very, with that whole thing with during Island Fest, let people use those fields. They seem very good about this. If we could do the same thing we did for the football team, I'm telling you, and it wouldn't cost anything. Those groups have money to spend, so they would do the remediation. I think you should move forward with at least the soccer fields, you know?
So airport guys, if you're watching this, we're going to be coming over there to talk to you.
For the kids.
I think that's a great idea. My concern has always been that we don't exclude one group from the other. You know what I mean? Just because one group has got the money to spend right now, we don't want them to, landlock everybody out. You know, that's my
Well,
biggest
hopefully
concern.
we got past that because soccer was able to use the football fields during Island Fest, right? I mean, we're making steps towards that, right,
I'm
Chad?
thinking softball. I see the jersey you got on, and I'm thinking baseball, and I'm not choosing teams out here, but I think we need to develop a baseball area over there, not just for that, but rec could make revenue. If we got
Softball,
5, 9
softball.
softball teams together in the summertime, and we had local businesses, Lloyd's and Ohana House and Marie's Marketplace and all that, and they would pay. I know what we pay to sponsor that through Wine.rec.
Right,
you know?
but like Kim's saying, that's the one that's going to cost money. The infrastructure,
Is
you got
it?
nothing. You got infrastructure at the schools,
Right.
and if we could do an agreement with that and build that up or something where you got something already there, but you're going to start from scratch over
Right,
here.
so that's something for Greg to look into, then the development of a baseball field.
That's a long-term plan for sure.
I know. Is it really? We just can't go throw an old glove out there and call it throw the ball around. Well,
That's where you need the grant money.
I mean, no offense, Skiza and Gyra or football or soccer. I think some baseball. We need something going on over there. I mean,
It'd be good. But you need to take that plan that Wade Trim made for us as a whole. And then you have that as a whole plan, and then you can start with grant monies. Because the government's going to give you money towards the greater goal of the whole property, not just little pieces. But you show them the whole plan, and you're saying, I'm going to do this first, this second. And that's how all these grant monies start building up.
first we got to get the property the okay, because the final word's going to be, well, if we get a tenant or decide to develop something there, we're going to have to throw you off.
Yep.
Within a year's
That's
time.
why I
maybe.
thought our plan we chose because it was soccer fields, so no infrastructure. I think only the outfield went out towards there for one of the baseball diamonds. Nothing like the dugouts and home plate. I don't think went towards.
Ooh, dugouts.
Yeah, and an update on that. We reached out to Wade Trim, and we are having another meeting with them, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I'm waiting on a response from them to meet with all 3 groups again and go over this plan. So we're still in that process. So hopefully in the next, we were shooting for October 5th or 11th, I believe, and we're waiting on a response. I'm waiting on a response from them if they can meet again.
You're meeting on October 5th?
I don't have it. I'm waiting to see if that.
You let
That's
me
next
know.
week.
I'd like to attend that meeting.
Dale and I threw out 2 dates to them. So we're just waiting for the email back. And I
Okay.
will definitely email you.
All right, thanks.
Is that just for that development over there, or is that all of our departments?
We're
that you're
focusing
doing?
on the ball diamonds.
On the ball diamonds. Oh, good. Wow, there we go.
So the groups are aware of that. October 5th may be the date. Are the groups aware? Are the groups aware of it? Gyra and Giza, are they? aware
Once
of
I receive the date, then I call all 3
Oh, they're not
groups.
even
Yeah,
okay.
I'm waiting for Wade Trim we threw out 2 dates.
Okay.
When they pick their date, then I'll email the group and say, this is when we're meeting. Absolutely.
Thanks, Greg, for taking that on, too, because I'm real serious about those softball. I mean, I know it should be good for baseball, but it seems like there's so much missed revenue that we're paying other places that we could be using right here for a good time in the summer. You know?
You could have vintage baseball tournaments out there.
Boy, who does that? Who does that?
Isn't that the All-Stars or something?
Yeah, get them. They're great.
All-Stars, yeah.
The Wyandotte Stars.
Why not All-Stars, yeah.
His body right now is cryogenically, it's in frozen. So we'll see if we can get Ted out of the we'll bring him out here for old timers baseball game. A lot of them are checking out, so we're gonna have
You gotta hurry up before they
All
die.
right. That brings us to, Greg, are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, thank you, sir. Senior Olympics with Ethel. I want to let everybody know Ethel is recuperating. I don't really have that. I know where she's at. I don't want to say. I mean, can somebody take this from me and where she's at and how she's doing with her arm? Or
Yeah, she's doing well. Some other issues have developed, so she's going to be in the care facility that is next to the Beaumont Old Seaway Hospital. And she's doing very well. I mean, it's just an absolute delight. The bone is healing, as it should. It's a long process. And she's most concerned about being able to drive her car. I mean, this is a woman who's in her 90s, so not keeping her down. But anyway, and then the good news is, I don't know if this is good news, but her house her condo had a big flood. So her condo is being repaired while she's recovering.
Right.
So, you know, all kind of bright side to it, I guess.
Thank you, yeah.
Good time.
But, yeah, she's just a wonderful lady, and we miss her. And
She is coming back.
Cards are, she'll be back, and cards would be welcome, so.
And just an update, obviously the Senior Olympics, I was part of that this year. I was able to attend the opening and closing ceremonies. I did talk a little bit about it the last meeting. So great event for our seniors. I'm hoping to have some training for our seniors to prepare for next season. So you'll see that in the next channels, senior training for the Senior Olympics. I'd like to see, I think we had about 22 seniors for the Senior Olympics. I wrote a nice article for the paper. It was published. I hope all of you saw that. I got a great picture out there. So that's just the update with the Senior Olympics. And then I kind of briefed you on just the luncheon for the seniors. We do have Meals on Wheels in the morning, and then obviously the rec department handles calls for senior transportation in the afternoon. So, and I also want to send a hug to Ethel, hoping she comes back because she's a vital part of this commission. She's a treat to work with, and I do miss her as well. So, and she does a lot of work with Annette in our office, writing articles and planning the luncheons and so forth. So,
Thank you. Leah, is this where Alicia comes in? Alicia Bondar, our school liaison. We also, you have a little announcement about the Writing Academy, too, from Rob Luke.
Okay. So September has been a crazy busy month at school. Not only has it been the first month of school, but probably one of the most important. The biggest event this month was Homecoming 2017. It took place the week of September 18th through the 23rd. Our Spirit Week days were on Monday, Powder Puff and Jersey Day. Tuesday was Superhero. Wednesday, Americana. Thursday, Cops versus Robbers Day. And Friday was Class Spirit and T-shirt. Our theme this year was App Games. The winner of the class float was the senior class with their Angry Birds float.
Who won Powder Puff?
Seniors.
Who won Best Float?
Seniors.
Oh.
Angry Birds.
Oh, Angry Birds. Sorry.
We also won the game against Flat Rock. Sorry, Flat Rock, we flattened your rock.
The level pebble.
Yeah, the level pebble. Science Club started this month. They're going to have meetings every Wednesday to support this club. Go to the volleyball games and buy things at the concessions. They are responsible this year of holding those. The Student Council will be responsible for all football concessions as well. Environmental Awareness Club assumed position of school recycling this year. And school-wide events were the high school open house, which was September 14th, and delayed start. October 2nd will be our next delayed start, and from there on out, every other Monday will be a delayed start as well. Our high school equestrian team from September 19th, 16th, and 23rd was competing at the district championships for Region 7, or District 7. We came in champion, competing in a 5-person division with a 3-person team, winning by over 150 points. It was a huge lead.
Killed.
I want to wish my team luck this weekend because I'm on the team as well. It's my senior year. I'm team captain now. As we head off to regionals, for the past 2 years, we've made it all the way to states and have been in the top 5. My sophomore year being reserve champions, the first time Grosse Ile has ever been that high. And I'd also like to thank our coaches, Ricky and Rob Luton, with the help of Jenna Henry as assistant coach too. It is very rare that you find an equestrian team lucky enough to have an accomplished national caliber trainer and instructor who is willing to allow you to use lucky assets like this, such as Class A horses and equipment, and being allowed to lease this. Most teams don't have this advantage over others, and it really shows as being from the past. We've always made it. We've made it to states already, and hopefully we'll make it again this year. So thank you. I hope you all wish us luck.
I was at that homecoming game, and I want to tell you, it was like 58 or 57 seconds left, and it was tied 17-17. And I'm talking with some of my mom friends here, and I was like, "This is crazy." And then Grosjean got the 20 at under the last minute. It was ridiculous. You could hear that place erupt when they got it.
Oh, our student section was crazy. We were lit. We had a flag and airplane lights and everything going.
Nice.
It was pretty fun.
I see Alicia and her farm when she's down there riding those horses in the boots and all that, and we're so proud of you. But I got this picture of her with her prom date, too. And when I saw this dress, and I saw her date right there.
You better put that on the screen then.
Look at the heels. Yeah, can you put that on the screen? I don't know if you can film it.
My date was like a foot taller than me, so I needed some height there.
I went to school with her mom back in the, and I was like, wow. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful. In your cowboy uniforms and your prom dresses. So thank you. Thanks,
you.
Alicia. We good? Mm-hmm. And we got Playscape and Sunrise, Ann.
Yep. The Playscape looks wonderful down there. I stopped there before the meeting tonight. It looks clean, neat. Thank you also, Kim, for the second trash can down there too, and for the cameras. Also for Sunrise Park, the water is still pretty high, so there's still plenty of warm weather to be using that brand new kayak ramp. The scope that's down there to be able to look out over the water is been installed again for the summer, and you will have a beautiful view of Stony Island, and you can even see like all the seagulls and stuff that are sitting on the that new stone structure. It's very cool. The township manager has submitted paperwork to Wayne County for a waiver for the retaining wall to be built down by Sunrise Park. It will be north of the stairs to keep the erosion away. I do have a picture of it. So the paperwork was submitted to Wayne County. There is a donor willing to make a donation for its installation, so that won't be costing us anything. And they, the donor is from the Nature and Land Conservancy.
Is there any talk in to get cameras down there too?
Not that I'm aware of at this time. Oh, cool.
And I have talked to the Historical Society about the procedure of paving the back behind the Customs House and the museum back there, and they're pretty want to hear all our plans and stuff like that, which is good because I'd heard it had hit a brick wall, and then when I talked to a couple of people that actually are on the board there, and they're like, no, we want to.
Well, is it a new board, Chad, now over there?
It's all I mean, there's like one or two other ones that were there for a while, but yeah, new president, vice president, secretary, treasurer.
Good.
You know, they got a lot of good stuff coming up. Obviously, their Christmas boutique's going to be going strong, but yeah, so they're really excited about letting us. So we have someplace to park because when you drive down there, Ian, I know you know that there's a lot.
It's tight.
Yeah, that's nice. So
they're willing to let us use their parking lot
in the back.
In the back,
co-developing it because Wayne County. We just talked about 6 parking spaces along Parkway.
Right.
It might be easier to just discuss with them about paving the back down there.
Okay.
But Tony, the president, he said that there's like a couple inches of gravel underneath that the sod that's there. So something was under there before. Imagine what you might find. Isn't that the old railroad depot and stuff like that? Yeah.
Cool.
And we thanked them for the kayak launch, right, that they put down there?
Great. I think we did at the last meeting, but I know I did at the last meeting. But again, if you want to, at Sunrise Park, you can see the new kayak ramp launch, and it runs right along the stairs to get any kayaks up and down easily at Sunrise Park.
And they did add that rope too. The rope is up there.
Rope is up there. There's a sign for usage. Very nice sign that explains the rules and the guidelines and how to use it.
Can we put toboggans on there in the wintertime and go down there?
No.
Will be winterized.
Yeah, you know what? Usually there's a winter sign that it closes it off.
Chad, you're no longer 20. Sorry.
I like that. It was nice. Thanks, Ian. You good? We discussed paint the town red. Any extended public comment out there?
Tom Buckley, 8062 Macomb, and a dock holder at Water's Edge. I just want to thank the people responsible for the concerts this summer. They were great. I think I made every one of them. The crowds were great. A lot of boats were turned away because there wasn't dock space, and there's no place to anchor in the river because the current's too fast. So your idea of increasing dock space down there is a good idea. One of the concerns was the traffic before the concert and after. I noticed a lot of times people wouldn't slow down for people trying to cross the street there. Maybe we could have the police department down there for those concerts, especially afterwards, because people have had a few cocktails at the concert and they're not really paying attention to the traffic. Anyway, it was a great summer for that. I'd like to see more of it. I think the idea of a sponsorship is wonderful. So,
How do you spell your name?
Buckley. Great job at the marina, too. It's getting better and better.
Maybe we could get a couple slow traffic signs down there or something for that concert. That's
a good idea.
Yeah.
I've seen where kids almost got hit crossing because boats pull in, people get out of their boats, and the kids are excited.
Right, yeah.
Not looking at the traffic.
Do you think it'd help that we discontinued charging transient dockage fee except for overnight? Or not? Or people just didn't even notice anymore?
The traffic is increasing because of Smokies.
Right.
There's been a few overnights, not a whole lot.
Come up here, and you can raft off 3 or 4 boats. I mean, I've been to Put in Bay and they do 5 out there, but is there a lot?
They've kind of cut down. I think now most of the city docks are down to just 2.
So it's based on a city dock? Because I was there a month ago.
Well, that's just
5.
That's not necessarily a law. It's just what they've done because people complain about people jumping on their boats and stuff. But I think for like a concert night down there, the thing is though is the wake laws need to be enforced along the river down there, which is a whole other ball game.
Right.
That sheriff, border patrol, or Coast Guard?
Or Grosseal.
That's the sheriff. That's the sheriff. I mean, the Grosseal has an ordinance, a no wake ordinance with 1,000 feet of the shore. But I've yet to see the Grosseal police boat out there. I mean, you hate to use revenue or tickets as a revenue, but
that might be a thing, though, instead of sitting up on the road.
In addition to that, the wakes from the boats, in addition to rocking the boats in the marina, it also scours the land out behind the seawall, and especially where the hoist is down there. Part of that, and it's also part of the problem with the bridge, the foundations for the bridge, because the wakes, they're constantly, that just scours the fill behind the break walls.
Thanks. Huh? Yep.
Thank you, Tom.
Anyone else? Public comments? Individual commissioners, I'm going to start this off. I want to, I'm sure some of you have noticed up here, there's a little changing of the guard. I want to thank Walt Ketcher for what he has done with this rec commission and the directions that he's taken it. I know he's had a lot of angst times and sitting in meetings and that, and we had recommended Walt to the township board back at our June meeting, and the township went a different route, and I am, as the vice chairman, I'm up here, and I'm excited about what I'm going to take from this and move forward. And Walt, I think we just all want to give you a round of applause, man. You have just done so much.
Appreciate it, Chad. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That being said, we'll start down there with Mr. Gregg. Anything you want to say?
Nothing at this time.
Ian?
I'm good.
Leah?
No, I think I'm good.
Nothing to report.
Alicia?
It's that time of year, NHS again. We just started. October 14th will be the new member inductions. So this year, every member, it's a little bit different than last year. It's no longer the 15 hours of community service. Each member has to do a service project for one part of the community. So if anybody needs help, we need one person per section of the community.
So call.
Yeah, or just let me know somehow and I can go to our school and
Does
get it
that
out in
mean
the
we
meeting.
get to pick like one for the farm, one for the marina, one for there, or is it just one?
Yeah, that
for rec?
works.
We could do that for all.
Well, it's like each person needs their own section, and you can do like multiple per section. Like I could take 5 people from NHS, and we all go and help the farm once a week for like 5 weeks on fences. Like that was the example that they gave me at school when I was
Have them call me
trying to come
tomorrow.
up with one. So
Have them call me tonight.
Think of projects.
Wow.
I have lots and lots of projects.
So if you have projects, like give me a list, and at the next meeting, I think we have meetings a couple times a month, and I can talk to the teachers and then speak about it in front of everybody there.
Alicia?
Is there an expiration date that we can use that for other
Seniors
commissions?
need it by the end of this year, but the other classes, the sophomores and juniors, I think just by the end of the school year, or if it's a summer job, they can just write it down ahead of time and turn it in and then do it later in the summer. So this is pretty much unlimited.
And that's all recorded, y'all. So back to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mr. Waltcatcher,
Volunteer in your community, please. That's it.
Mr. Nelson, Kim, good. I'm gonna adjourn the meeting at 8:27. Next meeting is October 20. Oh, okay. And second. And second's all right.
We're 7 o'clock from now on. Is that what we want to do?
Correct.
Yeah, 7 p.m. The next meeting is Thursday, October 26th. It's always the fourth Thursday of the month, folks out there that anybody's watching, and we are going to be meeting at 7 p.m. And thanks. Good night.